Hello everyone, in this video we'll see how to easily create this photocopy effect as you can see in here using Adobe Photoshop. But before we're gonna do that, make sure to subscribe and comment and leave a like. Alright, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's jump to Photoshop, and as you can see I have the image in here that we'll be using. So the first thing that we have to do is to actually convert these to smart objects, because we're gonna apply some filters and adjustments. I mean, we can apply them directly to the image, but it's always a good habit to have the options in here that you can go back and adjust the numbers. So right click and choose convert to smart object, and then I will go to image adjustment, and I'm gonna apply shadows and highlight. Now this is always good to apply shadows and highlight to flat a little bit the shadows and the highlight. So I'm gonna keep everything in here to default, and I will press OK. Alright, now before we're gonna go to apply a filter gallery, it's always good, especially for this effect that we're gonna do, it's always good to make sure that we have black and white in here set to the default. For example, if you have it red and white or red or another color, just press T in your keyboard and then maybe press X if you have white or black. Make sure that black is the foreground color, because there are some filters that works best with the black and the white in the foreground colors. Alright, so I will go to filter and I will choose filter gallery. Just gonna delete this to bring it back to the default. Now the first filter that we'll be using is graphic pen, is in the sketch folder. So I will zoom out for us to see. Now this is 100% experimental, so depending on the resolution that you are going to use, just play around with the stroke length and the light and dark balance. For example, for this image I will put it down to around 3 for the stroke length, and then light and dark balance is depend on how strong you want the graphic pen to be applied on your image. For me, I don't want it to be that strong for this, so I would keep it like 3 to 70. And also for the stroke direction, you can choose whatever makes the image looks better basically. I mean, because I went very low for the stroke, you can't even see the direction, and that was the whole idea. So I will put it back to horizontal, and I think I'm happy with that. And then I'm gonna go to this plus icon that we have down in here, and I will one click on it, and this will allow me to apply another filter inside the filter gallery. Now the second one is a half-turn pattern, so I will select it, and then I will make sure that the pattern type set to lines. And again, in here it's definitely experimental with this. You can play around and whatever that makes you like in the image that you are using, you can stick with that. For this one, I think I will go between 5 and 10 for the contrast, or maybe I will make the size even smaller, around 4, and the contrast I will stick with 10, but it's up to you for your own image. Alright, so I'm gonna add another filter by again one click on this plus icon, and this time I will go to texture and I will choose grain. And again, also the grain is depend on your preference. So for this image, I think I will put the intensity a little bit like 25 or 26. And for the contrast, I will keep it 50. And let's see. I think it looks really cool like that. Maybe I will put up the intensity a little bit to like 30. And the contrast 56. I think I'm happy with this, and I will press OK. Now if you're not happy with the lines of the half-tone, you can always go back and change that. But for me, I think they are looking very good. So I will keep it like this. Next, I want actually to blur out the edges a little bit. So to do that, I'm gonna make a copy of this by taking it and putting it in this plus icon, and this will create a copy. And then I will go to filter, blur, and I'm gonna choose motion blur. And again, it depends on your preference. You can apply as many distance for the pixels. For me, I will stick with 75 and I'm gonna press OK. Now I don't want all the blur to be applied on the image. I just want it to be applied on the edges. So I will apply a layer mask, and then I will go and choose the marquee tool in here, and I'm gonna create a rectangle just in the middle like this. And I will make sure that I'm selecting the layer mask, and I'm gonna hit delete. And as you can see, we've deleted from the areas that we don't want. But as you can see, we have this a little bit sharp. So to fix that, you can just open the layer mask by double click on it to open the properties, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of feather to make it blend even better with the image, just like this. I think around 100 pixel for this image, it will look really cool. And there we go, we have a really nice blur. And the good thing about this, you can always go back and apply more blur if you want. Alright, so we're almost done. Now the only thing that I will do is to apply a texture, a little bit of dust in here, so it's gonna make it bigger to fit. And then I'm gonna change the blending mode of this tool. It's either lighten or screen. I think I will stick with screen. And I will go and apply another adjustment. So I will go for maybe a level adjustment, and I'm gonna play with the white and blacks in here, and just like that, maybe a little bit in the midtones. Alright, next I will go and I'm gonna apply a gradient map, and I have 24 gradients in here that I will make sure to upload in the link from the description below. You can choose between them, whatever work good for you. So I'm gonna stick with this one, and then I'm gonna drop down the opacity quite a bit, something like this. Alright, and that will be all. So I hope that you enjoy and you like this quick tutorial, and it was a little bit helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and comment, and wait for more to come, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.